This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent professors, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, so you are from Sagar, right? Sagar, Madhya Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
So your option is okay, political science. Okay. So recently, I think this electoral bonds issue, the Supreme Court judgment on electoral bonds, right? So what was
Yes,
the
sir.
judgment? What was the Supreme Court judgment?
Yes, sir. Sir, electoral bond scheme was introduced in 2018 for the funding of the elections, and it was a bond scheme where the donors can anonymously donate in the SBI, and the parties can encash those bonds. So the Supreme Court judgment, they nullified the electoral bond scheme, and they said that it goes against the right to information of the citizens, that they should be
Which
able to
article?
know.
Which article of the Constitution?
Sir, Article 14.
Article 14.
Yes, sir.
What is Article 14?
So Article 14 is equality.
Then
Sorry,
how it
sir,
is
I'm not
violating
able
right?
to.
It is Article
Yes, sir.
19, I think.
Sorry, sir, Article 19. So in my mind, it was Article 19.
Yes,
Sorry,
yes.
sir.
But the government's argument was that it was promoting the transparency. These electoral bonds, the government has brought with the purpose of increasing transparency in this political funding, right? So,
Yes, sir.
what was the government's argument then? How the bonds were meant to bring transparency in the system?
Yes, sir. So the government's argument was firstly that because it formalizes the entire process, because the SBI was involved, who will maintain the data of both the donors who are donating as well as to which party is encashing. So it will be formalized. And secondly, sir, they also said to curb the black money and illegal funding also, the money laundering which happens. So, sir,
Earlier, how it was happening?
Sir, earlier there was a limit where the companies used to donate money to the political parties, and they used to go beyond that limit. So, sir, that
What was that limit?
illegal. So it was something around 7%.
Okay.
Sir, I'm not exactly sure about the limit.
Okay, 7.5%, right?
Yes, sir.
So earlier, beyond 7.5%, how they were giving the money?
Yes, sir. Sir, there was. Sorry, sir, I'll read more about exactly how they used to donate.
Okay, okay. One more issue in the recent days was this uniform civil code. Actually, President has given the consent for this uniform civil code. So what is your
Yes,
view on uniform civil code?
yes, sir. Sir, Uniform Civil Code, as envisaged in our Article 44 of Indian Constitution as a directive principle, which needs to be implemented in some time. Sir, the
There are
main
so
vision of
many
UCC.
directive principles that need to be implemented. I'm not asking from the theoretical or the constitutional perspective. What is your view? Uniform civil codes needs to be implemented or not needs to be implemented?
Yes, sir. Sir, my view with respect to UCC is that it needs to be implemented. However, sir, it needs to be implemented in a phased manner and taking the stakeholder consultation and the primary motive of keeping the human rights first. So, sir, I believe the good aspects of various personal laws, those good aspects needs to be taken, and a comprehensive stakeholder-based solution needs to become up. So, sir, it will take some time, so we can go through a phase-wise manner. So, this is my opinion.
So already Uttarakhand government has implemented. So have you gone through that uniform civil code, what the Uttarakhand government has implemented? So broader
Uh,
consultations and common ground has been arrived.
Yes, sir. Some of the provisions have been gone through. So they have majorly they have keep the scheduled tribes as an exception on whom the UCC will not apply, and majority of the provisions like they have given the live-in relationship concept where they can register it. They have also taken away these
There is
practices like
also some
nikah halala.
controversy. There is also some controversy regarding this live-in relationships in the Uttarakhand UCC. Right? Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir.
What is that
Uh,
controversy?
s- Sir, in the UCC, it is given that the couple need to register after 30 days living together, before 30 days living together, and after living together also they need to register. So, sir, it creates a situation of moral policing where the live-in relationship they need to give their registration. So,
So
secondly,
you
also
don't
the
support that.
couple, sir, I think it will affect the right to privacy of the couple.
Then why
The mandatory registration.
government put that in the bill?
Sir, government might have taken the panel discussions and might have analyzed the situation. Sir, however, my personal opinion, I would say that live-in relationships, the mandatory registration part can be taken. There, the legality which is given is a good step, sir, but the mandatory registration might create an issue because
Okay,
for the
okay.
even for the
Okay, okay, fine, good. And one more thing is in the news of late, that is the Citizenship
yes, sir.
Amendment Act, what we
Yes,
call
sir.
CAA. So rules have been
Yes, sir.
notified by the Home Ministry. Now it is under implementation. So how do you view this? You support CAA?
Yes, sir. Sir, I support CAA because as government has clearly said that it is to give citizenship and not to take away anyone's citizenship. It is only just an empowering provision for the persecuted minorities who have come from these countries. So it won't affect any person who has Indian citizenship. So the concerns which are there, I think, sir, it should be clarified more and a proper communication needs to be taken up. So, sir, I think it's an empowering provision and we should implement it.
But many opposition parties are saying that it is discriminatory. Like it is not granting citizenship to certain communities like Muslims, like that.
Yes, sir. Sir, I feel that Sri Lankan Tamils can also be added in the list because they are also persecuted. Sir, however, the Muslims like Ahmadiyas or Shias,
Rohingya Muslims are also persecuted in their country, that is Myanmar.
yes, sir. Sir, for Rohingyas also, sir, because it is an internal religious matter and they are not a minority. So, sir, that as a case by case basis, we can give them citizenship. So, this is what I think to have the case by case based approach.
Okay. But in the Rohingya Muslim case, even Intelligence Bureau has raised alarm that many of the Rohingya Muslims are creating law and order problems in our country.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Yeah. Mm. Tell me.
yes, sir. Sir, Rohingyas have been given the refugee status, and we have a policy of non-refoulement where we'll not send back if they are religiously persecuted there. And sir, even citizenship as a through a naturalization process, they can also give. However, some issues are there for which we are dealing also through our security setup.
Okay. I will ask you one last question that since you are a computer science graduate, see there
Yes,
is
sir.
a many issues with this growing artificial intelligence. Many scholars are raising alarm bells that it is a threat to humanity as a whole.
Yes, sir.
What are your views and how our Indian government should approach or should take AI forward?
Yes, sir. Sir, the artificial intelligence as a technology was made to support humans and not to take away their jobs or not to show biasness, which are the major issues in AI. Sir, for this, even government is taking steps by giving the regulations for AI, and also we have the dedicated AI setup. Various educational organizations, they are also doing development in AI, and even India is leading through the global pledge GPAI platform. So, sir, AI can be misused also, but however, if regulated properly and having an ethical use of AI, then it will actually benefit humanity. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Sophia.
Yes, ma'am.
Sophia, if you had to choose between, how does the state balance its need for development and environmental concerns in allocation of projects and resources?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the government has various provisions like the environmental impact assessment, which is done before giving the projects. The viability of the projects are taken. Ma'am, also the social impact assessment is also done to see the impact on the communities and the local people. So, ma'am, a balanced approach is taken where we are doing the development as well as side by side we have the environmental conservation as well.
Okay, okay. Now, can you tell me what is the golden quadrilateral?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, Golden Quadrilateral is the road infrastructure that we are building to connect the four major cities of Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata.
Okay. And okay. We are building, or is it already there? You said we are
Yes, ma'am,
building.
it is. Yes, ma'am, it is already there.
It's already
Sorry, ma'am.
present, right? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you tell me different question, which is if you had to promote adult education in your district? See, India's our demographic dividend is aging. So we are an aging country, and they say by 2040 we'll be an aging country. So we should be promoting adult education. What measures can we take for this?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can I take few seconds to
Yes.
think?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, for adult education, the national education policy also have some provisions with respect to higher education. So, ma'am, that can also be extended for the adult people who might have left their education and they can come back and continue their education. And secondly, more information and awareness needs to be created, especially in the rural areas where we see the illiterate population. So a dedicated school infrastructure can also be made, especially for those people who might have not completed their education. So, ma'am, thirdly, for women who face difficulty of having the gap years, and the household women also, for them some measures can be taken so that they can also come back to the workforce and continue their education as well.
Okay. Okay, now you in your hobbies and interests, you've written watching cinema on social issues and based on true stories. Can you
Yes,
tell
ma'am.
me any 5 movies which are based on social issues?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, firstly is the Chapa, which is based on the acid attack. Ma'am,
Okay.
secondly has been the Donkey, which is based on the illegal migration issue which various country faces. Ma'am, thirdly is the Peeply Live and also the Jawan, which showed the farmer suicide issue which is happening in the country. Ma'am, fifthly, I'll also say the toilet ek prem katha, where the Swachh cleanliness and importance of the toilets was shown.
For sure. Okay. Now you've mentioned 5 movies with different, which highlight different social issues in our country. Which one, if you had to choose one social issue which you feel is close to your heart and you would want to work on, which would it be?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I will say my topmost favorite movie has been The Great Indian Kitchen, which showed
Okay.
how the patriarchy involves within a family, and it shows the small details which has been perpetrated in our generation and in our family and has not been talking about. So, ma'am, even the Bollywood version of the same, it is a Malayalam movie, has been made. So, ma'am, I'll say on the patriarchal issue, especially
The
within the
patriarchy.
family.
Okay. And how do we, so India, we've been independent since 1947, 75 years. How do we, why have we not been able to remove patriarchy? There are several social evils which were done away with, which could have been, which were dealt with, but not patriarchy. Why?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I say both men and women are responsible for which the patriarchy is still there in our society. While men, the genetic disposition as well as the things which are taught that men do not cry, things like that. These also act as elements of supporting patriarchy only. And then women are also said to be the biggest perpetrators of patriarchy itself, as they accept the patriarchy and they do not speak about it. So, ma'am, if the nudging behavior comes where both men and women take a stand, so, ma'am, I think, and I'm hopeful also that with the current generation, the patriarchal issues might decrease.
Okay. My last question to you is on, since your optional is PSIR.
Yes,
PSIR
ma'am.
optional? Yes.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
know what is
Political.
checkbook diplomacy?
Yes, ma'am. Uh, Ma'am, the checkbook diplomacy is followed by China, where it gives debt. It gives the money to the countries to build the infrastructure and development, and then and they take it on a lease, and then the money has to be returned. So it creates a debt, and then they again take the money, so it creates a debt on the debt, and leading to the crisis-like situations. Ma'am, for instance, we see in countries like Sri Lanka, which had a huge debt with China, and even in recent Pakistan crisis also because they are having a majority of their debt towards China. So this has been the China's policy.
Checkbook diplomacy. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Sophia. You are an engineer.
Yes, sir.
You passed out in 2017, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And then you joined political science after 5 years. What did you do during those 5 years?
Yes, sir. Sir, initially I started preparation for the civil services full time, and I thought I will be able to clear it in my earlier attempts. Sir, however, when I studied political science, I developed interest for it, and I got the opportunity to study as a master subject. So, sir, that is the reason I joined ME in political science. So, meanwhile, I also had my YouTube channel, which I used to put my travel videos in it. Sir, and apart from that, I was also preparing for the exam as well.
Okay, so are you making some money from your travel videos? Does
Sir, currently.
YouTube pay something to you?
Yes, sir, but my account is currently not monetized because I have not sustained it in the last year due to the preparation. I used it only for 3-4 months.
Okay, so you didn't get any money, any penny at all from them?
No, sir.
Okay, now there's a very interesting feature in your DAF. You have given first choice as foreign service.
Yes,
And
sir.
administrative service is 2, and 3 and 4 are revenue services, and then finally 6 as police service.
Yes,
So
sir.
why? No, I mean, we would like to know what is the reason why you're so attracted toward the foreign service.
Yes, sir. Sir, when I read in political science the various international relations theory, it created an interest. Sir, secondly, I also read about the feminist foreign policy, which talks about that more women should be promoted at the international level, so that the more gender-based issues can be talked upon. So, sir, that has been my primary motivation to go for Indian foreign services,
Yeah,
and that's why I kept it.
You took up political science only after 5 years of engineering. So that means in your earlier attempts, your choices would have been different.
No, sir, my optional was political science only from my first attempt itself.
No, not from that point of view. Achha, okay. Your optional were political science, so you're doing self-study.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
but foreign service attracts you more than administrative service. Why? You said, of course, women issues at the international level. Anything else?
Yes, sir. Sir, I also want to represent India at the global level. So that has
Okay.
been my motivation.
Okay. That's it. Well, you say watching cinema on social issues.
Yes,
There
sir.
is a thinking that cinema can be an agent of change, of social change. Do you think Indian
Yes, sir.
cinema has been able to really stand on the test of the time? Has passed the test or not?
Yes, sir.
In your opinion, has it really been the agent of social change, or it has spread certain narratives which are not required, which are not needed?
Yes, sir. Sir, there has been a golden age in cinema in the 1950s and 60s where the social issues majorly were taken up. And then we saw the commercialization. And then again in the present times, we again see the shift towards the more social issue based movies like the Tare Zameen Par, Chak De India, all these kind of movies were made. So, ma'am, sir, I think that there has been a shift towards both the social issues as well as commercialization. And I think the cinema has been successful and in raising awareness about some issues and which has been and talking about it openly. So, for example, the Padman movie was there, which talked about the menstruation openly. These were has been the taboo topics. So, sir, definitely cinema has created an impression and has taken up the social issues and even resolved some of them.
But do you think could it do better? Could it do
Yes,
better?
sir. Yes, sir. Definitely, there's always a scope of improvement, and we definitely the cinema can do better. So, especially the Malayalam movies, which are really doing very well, especially in the social issues sector.
Okay. Now you might have heard of Hitler's propaganda ministry. It used to spread all kind of false news outside, and a false thing was repeated 100 times to make it truth. Now, had Hitler been in today's times, when social media is all over, had he been more
Yes,
successful or less successful?
yes, sir. So, with the presence of social media and its wide reach, it could have been successful if the blind followers of Hitler, as they were then there, so they could have followed and implemented the same propaganda. Sir, however, I'll say that if social media is regulated and there is an ethical considerations also, so then such kind of might not happen. So, sir, it depends also on the Hitler's perspective, the Hitler government. They could have used the social media for the same purpose.
More effectively?
Yes, sir, because
Or,
social media has a wide.
or the dissenting views could have softened his rhetorics?
Sir, dissenting views could have softened the rhetorics, sir, but considering the Hitler's stature, the kind of authoritarianism which he had, so he might have dissented, he have quietened the voice of the dissent.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'm taking a.
Now there was a talk about Quad, and there was a discussion about, making some effort to kill someone in Canada, and one of the guys were already killed, and India was blamed for having a hand into that. And it was claimed that on the basis of shared intelligence, this claim was made that India was responsible. What is that shared intelligence? Do you know something about it? And how it
Sorry,
works?
sir. Sir, I'm not aware about the shared intelligence. Sir, however, I'm aware what Indian government stand has been with respect to this issue.
No, the Indian government has been denying it's not there, but Canada has been saying openly, and even US supporting it, that there has been shared intelligence on the basis of which the blame was being done.
Yes, sir. So the Indian intelligence agencies like RAW, so they might have some their ground level workers who might have that shared that intelligence. So that can have been there.
Okay, okay. You talked about women, and you said that in foreign service we can improve the condition of women. Are you aware of some of the covenants or UN covenants which really talk about women's rights?
Yes, sir.
Can you name
Sir,
one at least?
yes, sir. So there's a Beijing consensus which happened in 1995, which was on the women issues and women rights. Ma'am, sir, there is a UN Commission on Women also, which is specifically for the women issues. Sir, also there have been various agreements, and UDHR also includes the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. They also includes the rights for the women.
Okay, in Beijing conference, there was a protocol for representation of women in the House. Can you recollect what is the percentage recommended in that the women should be there in the House? What is the percentage recommended by the Beijing protocol or Beijing meeting? Beijing conference?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall the exact percentage.
Okay,
Sir,
the
however,
states have local bodies have reservation of 30% for women.
Yes, sir.
Has it come from Beijing conference? Is 30%?
Sir, Beijing conference has been the inspiration, sir. I'm not exactly sure.
Okay,
It might have.
Okay. Recently, Government of India passed a law for women reservation.
Yes, sir.
When you think it will see the light of the day? In how many years?
Sir, it is said that in the next general elections in 2029, we are hopeful that the women reservation can be implemented.
2029.
Yes, sir.
But the delimitation in the state till 2026. And there will be census, and then only it can be done.
Yes, sir.
So how can in 3 years, how it can be done? Is it possible? You come from Sagar
Yes,
district.
Yes,
Can you name
sir.
the districts bordering Sagar district?
Yes, sir. So the major districts bordering Sagar are the Bhopal district, Narsinghpur district, Damoh district, and sir, I'm able to recall only these three.
Does it have any border with UP also?
No, sir. It does not have the border.
Doesn't have border with UP.
No, sir.
Okay. So I'll stop here.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sophia. So
Yes, sir.
you are from Sagar. Can you tell me the historical importance of Sagar?
Yes, sir. So Sagar is also named as Saugar because historically the Gondwana kingdom was there, where they had multiple garhs. So that's why it was called as Saugar. So later on, British also built up a cantonment there, and they established the city, and that's why they used to call it Saugar. And so this is the main, and also Sagar, the 1857 revolution which happened. Sagar was also one of the major center of the revolution.
Okay, there is a place near Sagar, 𝐴𝐴RN.
Yes, sir.
There was an inscription found in 𝐴𝐴RN. What was that inscription?
So the 𝐴𝐴RN inscription was related to the sati system, which was prevalent during the Gupta times, and it is said to be as the first recorded evidence that sati used to happen in India in those times.
All right. Okay, so recently there was a CIPRI report, and it says that India remains a top importer of the arms.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I just want to know that India, which is facing a lot of issues related to employment, related to poverty, related to malnutrition. Despite it, we are going to import a large number of arms, okay, rather than tackling on such issues. Do you think that India should import such large amount of arms?
Yes, sir. So India is importing such large amount of arms mainly because of the issue of the two-front war, which we are facing because of the border clashes with both Pakistan and China. Sir, however, although we are the largest importer, we are also going for defense indigenization, where we are even promoting Make in India of the defense products and as well as export in world of the defense products. So, sir, in the present geopolitical scenario, a good defense capabilities is required So, sir, we are both importing as well as developing our own capabilities so that later on we can reduce the imports.
Earlier, in an answer of the question, you said about the YouTube videos that you are making. So most of the time we
sir.
see that administrators are using these YouTube videos or shorts to promote themselves or their actions. In your
Yes, sir.
opinion, are they justified?
Yes, sir. Sir, I think that if the videos which are made is to spread awareness on the right issues as well as to talk about schemes or the various initiatives that they are doing or the initiatives that can be done. So it creates an awareness and it also creates a direct impact on the people and creates a communication channel where people can know about the schemes. Sir, however, if they are promoting their own personal interest, sir, I think that should not be done. In the code of conduct and code of ethics, we have the rules regarding the optimal and ethical use of social media. So, sir, I think that should be followed. For the right purpose, it can definitely be used.
Okay. So in Madhya Pradesh, Kuno Palpur is famous for introducing cheetahs, right?
Yes, sir.
And a lot
Yes,
of
sir.
cheetahs died because of certain regions. So my question,
Yes,
first my
sir.
question, why are they dying? And my second question will be that why Namibia only? Why not from Iran?
Yes, sir. Sir, firstly, they are dying due to major reasons like heart failure, kidney failure, because they might not have been able to adapt to the environment. So, secondly, also there are pest infections in some of the cheetahs recently, which affected. Uh, so, secondly, we are getting them from Namibia and South Africa. Sir, with Iran, the pact has not been signed with respect to importing the cheetah. So, sir, mainly we are having our relations with South Africa and Namibia countries. That's why we are importing from there.
Okay, thank you.